Good morning. There comes a moment in life when you have to make a choice. A choice to stop being a victim of your circumstances. A choice to stop waiting for someone else to save you. A choice to stop making excuses for why you're not where you want to be. That moment is now. Life will test you. It will push you to your limits. It will break you down and whisper in your ear that you're not strong enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough. And too many people accept that lie. Too many people let life beat them into submission. But I'm here to tell you, you have more power than you think. Look around you. How many people do you know who are stuck in a job they hate, stuck in a body they don't respect, stuck in a life that drains them instead of fuels them? The truth is, they've given their power away. Taking full ownership of your life is the foundation of reclaiming your power. It's the moment you stop waiting for someone else to save you, stop blaming external factors for where you are, and start realizing that everything, your success, your failures, your happiness is in your hands. This shift in mindset is not just a small step. It is a complete transformation that changes how you approach every single day of your life. Most people go through life playing the blame game. They blame their upbringing, their environment, their genetics, their bad luck, or even other people for why they aren't where they want to be. It's easy to do, it's comfortable, it takes a responsibility off your shoulders and allows you to settle into the role of the victim. But the truth is, as long as you see yourself as a victim, you will never take control. You will never rise above your circumstances because you are constantly giving your power away to something or someone else. David Goggins says, the most important conversations you'll ever have are the ones you have with yourself. What are you telling yourself every day? Are you reinforcing the idea that life is unfair, that you were dealt a bad hand, that you can't change? Or are you taking control of that dialogue and telling yourself that no matter what's happened before, you are in charge of what happens next? The first step to reclaiming your power is brutal honesty. You have to look yourself in the mirror and admit where you've been making excuses. You have to call yourself out. Have you been blaming your past instead of working on your future? Have you been waiting for motivation instead of creating discipline? Have you been letting fear stop you instead of facing it head on? When you start taking full ownership, there are no more excuses, just solutions. Taking ownership doesn't mean your problems disappear. It doesn't mean life suddenly becomes easy. It means that when obstacles show up, and they always will, you stop wasting time complaining and start figuring out how to push through them. Life will never be fair. Some people will have to work twice as hard for half the results. Some people will face hardships that others can't even imagine. But the question is not, is life fair? The question is, what am I going to do about it? This mindset shift is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. The people who achieve greatness in any area of life, whether it's fitness, career, relationships, or personal growth, are the ones who understand that they are responsible for their own results. No one is coming to save them. No one is going to hand them success. They have to create it. Taking full ownership also means accepting that you are not owed anything. The world doesn't owe you success. It doesn't owe you happiness. If you want something, you have to earn it. That means showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it. It means being disciplined, putting in the effort, and refusing to quit, no matter how hard it gets. Because once you fully accept that your life is in your hands, you stop waiting and you start moving. You have two choices. You can continue to make excuses, or you can take control. You can continue to blame everything outside of you, or you can own your situation and start doing the work to change it. The moment you stop making excuses is the moment you take back your power. And once you take back your power, nothing can stop you. Callousing your mind through discomfort is the key to unlocking your full potential. Most people spend their entire lives avoiding pain, seeking comfort, and looking for the easiest way out. They hit the snooze button, take shortcuts, and quit the moment things get hard. But the truth is, growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in discomfort and struggle. In the moments when you want to quit, but choose to keep going. The only way to build true mental toughness is by deliberately exposing yourself to hardship and pushing through it over and over again until your mind becomes unbreakable. Your mind, just like your body, adapts to stress. If you lift heavy weights repeatedly, your muscles tear and rebuild, making you stronger. The same principle applies to your mental strength. The more you expose yourself to difficult situations and push past your perceived limits, the tougher your mind becomes. But most people never allow themselves to get to that point. The second they feel discomfort, whether it's physical exhaustion, fear, boredom, or self-doubt, they stop. They retreat back to safety. They tell themselves they'll try again later. But later never comes because the habit of quitting becomes stronger than the habit of enduring. David Goggins talks about the importance of doing things that suck on purpose. He says that most people operate at only about 40% of their true potential. That means when you feel like you're completely spent, like you have nothing left to give, you're really only at 40%. There's still another 60% left in the tank, but the only way to access it is by training your mind to push past the discomfort. This is why he deliberately puts himself through grueling workouts, extreme endurance events, and painful challenges. He's not just testing his body, he's strengthening his mind. Most people never get to experience what's on the other side of discomfort because they quit too soon. They stop running when their legs burn, they give up on goals when things get difficult, and they settle for less than they are capable of. But imagine what would happen if, instead of backing down when things got hard, you leaned into the struggle. What if, every time your mind told you to quit, you went just a little further? What if you started training yourself to embrace the suck rather than run from it? That's how mental calluses are built. It starts with small, daily decisions. Wake up earlier than you want to. Take the cold shower. Push yourself harder in your workouts. Have the difficult conversation you've been avoiding. Do the work even when you're tired, unmotivated, or discouraged. Every time you willingly put yourself in discomfort and refuse to back down, you're adding another layer of toughness to your mind. And over time, that toughness builds into something unshakable. When your mind is calloused, discomfort no longer controls you. Pain, fatigue, and fear become just another challenge to overcome rather than reasons to quit. You stop looking for easy ways out and start seeking opportunities to grow. And the more you train this mindset, the stronger it becomes. Eventually, nothing can break you because you've already broken yourself down and rebuilt yourself stronger over and over again. The reality is, life is going to test you whether you're ready for it or not. You can either prepare for those tests by making yourself mentally tough, or you can let life break you every time things get hard. The choice is yours. If you want to reclaim your power, if you want to reach your full potential, then stop running from discomfort, lean into it, seek it out. Because the more you embrace the struggle, the stronger you become. And when you develop a mind that refuses to quit, there is absolutely nothing that can stand in your way. Silencing the inner weakness is one of the hardest battles you will ever fight, but it is also the most important. That voice in your head, the one that tells you to take it easy, to give up when things get hard, to settle for less than you are capable of, is your greatest enemy. It is the voice that keeps you stuck, that convinces you to stay comfortable, and that robs you of your true potential. If you want to reclaim your power, you must learn to override that voice. You must train yourself to push forward even when every part of you is telling you to quit. The mind is a powerful tool, but for most people, it becomes their biggest obstacle. It creates doubt, fear, and hesitation. It reminds you of past failures, of the times you fell short, of the pain you might feel if you push too hard. And because that voice is always there, whispering in the background, many people listen to it without even realizing it. They let it dictate their actions, and as a result, they never break through to the next level. The problem is not their physical limits or external circumstances. It is the fact that they have never learned to silence their inner weakness. David Goggins calls this voice the governor. Just like a governor on a car engine that limits its speed, the mind places artificial limits on what you think you can handle. It convinces you that you are too tired, too weak, or too unprepared, long before you have actually reached your true limit. But those limits are not real. They are illusions created by the mind to keep you comfortable and safe. And if you accept them as truth, you will never push yourself far enough to see what you are actually capable of. The key to silencing the inner weakness is recognizing it for what it is, fear disguised as logic. Your mind will always find a reason why today is not the right day, why the challenge is too big, or why you should wait until you feel more ready. But you will never feel ready. You will never have the perfect conditions. If you wait for everything to align, you will spend your entire life waiting. The only way to move forward is to take action despite the doubt, despite the fear, despite the discomfort. Every time you override that voice, you gain control. Every time you push through when you want to quit, you weaken its power over you. The more you train yourself to act in spite of fear, the more you realize that the voice in your head has been lying to you all along. It told you that you couldn't handle the pain, yet you did. It told you that you weren't strong enough, yet you kept going. It told you to stop, but you refused. And with every battle you win, you build a mind that is stronger than any excuse, any doubt, or any fear. This process does not happen overnight. Silencing the inner weakness requires daily discipline. It means showing up even when you don't feel like it. It means shutting down negative self-talk and replacing it with action. It means proving to yourself over and over again that you are capable of more than you think. The weak voice in your head will never fully go away, but it does not have to control you. You have the power to decide which voice you listen to, the one that wants you to quit or the one that demands more from you. Your mind will either be your biggest asset or your biggest enemy. The choice is yours. If you let your inner weakness run the show, you will stay stuck, repeating the same patterns and never reaching your full potential. But if you learn to silence it, to push past it, to ignore its excuses, and to act in spite of it, you will unlock a level of strength, resilience, and power that few people ever reach. And once you do that, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. Building an unbreakable work ethic is the foundation of success in any area of life. Most people rely on motivation to get things done, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Some days you wake up feeling inspired, ready to take on the world, but other days you feel drained, unmotivated, and full of excuses. The problem is that most people only work hard when they feel like it, They show up on the days when it's convenient, but disappear when it gets tough. That's why they never achieve true greatness. If you want to reclaim your power, you need to stop relying on motivation and build the kind of work ethic that does not waver, no matter how you feel. Discipline is what separates the great from the average. The best athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the most mentally tough individuals do not wait to feel good before they take action. They show up every single day, whether they're tired, sore, frustrated, or uninspired. They understand that hard work is not a choice, it's a requirement. They don't make excuses, they don't negotiate with themselves, and they don't allow their emotions to dictate their effort. This level of consistency is what makes them unstoppable. David Goggins often says, when you're tired, you're only at 40%. Most people quit long before they've actually reached their limit. They stop when things get uncomfortable, when the pain kicks in, or when they start doubting themselves. But that's exactly when they should push harder. Every time you push past that point, every time you force yourself to keep going when everything in you wants to stop, you are training your mind to handle adversity. You are developing a work ethic that cannot be broken. Hard work is not about occasional bursts of effort. It is about relentless consistency. It's easy to go all in for a few days or even a few weeks, but can you keep going when the excitement wears off? Can you keep grinding when the results aren't coming as fast as you'd like? Can you stay disciplined when no one is watching, when no one is cheering you on, when no one cares? That's what separates those who achieve greatness from those who settle for mediocrity. The problem is that most people expect results too quickly. They want to see progress immediately, and when it doesn't happen, they get discouraged and quit. But success doesn't work that way. It's a slow process. It takes months, years, even decades of hard work to reach the highest levels. The people who succeed are the ones who fall in love with the process, who show up day after day without expecting instant rewards. They understand that every rep, every hour of effort, every moment of struggle is a step forward, even if they can't see the progress right away. One of the biggest traps people fall into is comparing themselves to others. They see someone else achieving success and assume that person has some special advantage. More talent, better genetics, or more opportunities. But what they don't see is the years of work behind the scenes. They don't see the sacrifices, the failures, the countless hours of practice. The truth is, talent means nothing without hard work. The most successful people in any field are not necessarily the most gifted. They are the ones who refuse to quit. They are the ones who put in the work when no one else is willing to. Building an unbreakable work ethic starts with making a commitment to yourself. No more excuses, no more shortcuts, no more waiting for the perfect moment. You have to show up every single day, push through the discomfort, and do the work no matter what. Over time, this discipline becomes a part of who you are. You stop seeing hard work as something to avoid and start seeing it as the only way forward. And when you reach that level, when your work ethic is so strong that nothing can shake it, you become unstoppable. Nothing and no one can take your power away because you have earned it through relentless effort. And once you have it, you never let it go. Embracing the suck and turning pain into power is one of the most important mindsets you can develop if you want to reclaim your power. Most people spend their entire lives running from pain, avoiding discomfort, and looking for the easiest way out. They see pain as something negative, something to be feared, something that signals they should stop. But the truth is, pain is the gateway to growth. The people who achieve the highest levels of success, who develop unbreakable mental toughness are the ones who don't just tolerate pain, they embrace it. They understand that suffering is a choice, but struggle is necessary for growth. Pain is unavoidable in life. At some point, you will experience failure, setbacks, disappointment, and hardship. No one is immune to it. But what separates the strong from the weak is how they respond. Weak-minded people let pain break them. They complain, make excuses, and give up the moment things get hard. They see pain as proof that they should stop, that they are not capable, that the challenge is too much. Strong-minded people see pain as fuel. They welcome it because they know that every ounce of pain they endure is making them stronger, tougher, and more resilient. They know that pain is not a signal to quit. It is a signal to keep going. David Goggins has proven time and time again that the human body and mind are capable of far more than we think. He has run ultra marathons on broken feet, completed grueling military training multiple times, and pushed himself beyond what most people believe is humanly possible. How? Because he has trained himself to embrace the suck. He has conditioned his mind to see pain as a challenge, not a limitation. When most people hit their breaking point, he sees an opportunity to push even further. That is the mindset that separates the best from the rest. Most people are operating at a fraction of their true capacity because they have never learned to push through pain. They stop when they feel tired, when they feel uncomfortable, when things don't go their way. But the real growth happens when you push beyond that point. When you feel like you have nothing left but keep going anyway. That is when you discover what you are truly made of. That is when you start to unlock your full potential. But it only happens if you are willing to suffer, to struggle, to embrace the discomfort instead of running from it. The key to turning pain into power is shifting your perspective. Instead of seeing pain as something negative, start seeing it as a gift. Every time you go through something difficult, you are being given a chance to grow. Every hardship is a test, a chance to prove to yourself that you are stronger than you think. Instead of complaining when things get hard, start asking yourself, what is this teaching me? How can I use this to become better? When you start viewing pain as an opportunity instead of an obstacle, you take control of your life. You also have to stop looking for the easy way out. If you want to become mentally tough, you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations on purpose. Do the hard workouts, take on the difficult challenges, push yourself to your limits daily. The more you expose yourself to controlled suffering, the more prepared you will be when life inevitably throws real pain your way. You won't crumble under pressure because you have already trained yourself to handle it. You will face adversity head on, knowing that you have already endured worse and come out stronger. Pain is not something to fear. It is something to use. It is the tool that will forge you into the strongest version of yourself. The people who achieve the greatest success, the highest levels of resilience, are the ones who learn to thrive in discomfort. They don't wait for life to be easy. They train themselves to be stronger. And once you develop that mindset, there is nothing in this world that can break you. Becoming relentless and refusing to settle is the final step in reclaiming your power. Too many people live their lives accepting mediocrity, settling for less than they are capable of, and making excuses for why they haven't achieved what they truly want. They allow comfort, fear, and the opinions of others to dictate their actions. But those who reach the highest levels of success, those who become truly unstoppable, are the ones who refuse to settle for anything less than their best. They demand more from themselves every single day, and they do not stop until they reach their goals, no matter how long it takes or how hard it gets. Relentlessness is not a trait you are born with. It is something you develop through consistent action. It is the ability to keep moving forward despite obstacles, failures, and setbacks. It is waking up every day with a mindset that says, I will not quit. I will not stop. I will not let anything stand in my way. This mindset is what separates the weak from the strong. Most people start something with enthusiasm, but when things get tough, they back down. They justify quitting by telling themselves that it wasn't meant to be, that the odds were against them, that it's okay to give up. But those who are truly relentless do not allow themselves to entertain these thoughts. They push through no matter what. David Goggins has shown what it means to be relentless time and time again. He has faced unimaginable pain, both physically and mentally, and yet he continues to push himself beyond his limits. He understands that settling is the enemy of greatness. The moment you decide to settle, to be okay with good enough, you start to lose your power. You start to accept less from yourself. And before you know it, you have become just like everyone else. Comfortable, complacent, and stuck in the same cycle of mediocrity. One of the biggest reasons people settle is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of pushing themselves too hard and realizing they might not be as strong as they thought. But the only way to overcome fear is to face it head on. If you let fear dictate your actions, you will never grow. You will never see what you are truly capable of because you will always stop short of your full potential. Being relentless means acknowledging fear, but refusing to let it control you. It means stepping up even when you are scared and proving to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts. Another reason people settle is because they surround themselves with others who settle. If you spend your time around people who make excuses, who justify mediocrity, who tell you that you're working too hard or that you should take it easy, you will eventually start to adopt their mindset. But if you surround yourself with people who are relentless, who push themselves every single day, who do not accept excuses, then you will elevate yourself to their level. You will adopt their mentality and start holding yourself to a higher standard. Being relentless also means being patient. Success does not happen overnight. It takes years of consistent effort, discipline, and sacrifice. Most people give up too soon because they expect quick results. They put in effort for a few weeks or months, and when they don't see immediate success, they convince themselves it's not worth it. But those who are relentless understand that the process is long. They do not look for instant gratification. They trust in the work they are putting in, knowing that every step forward, no matter how small, is getting them closer to their goal. Being relentless is a choice. You either decide to give everything you have to your goals, or you don't. You either commit to pushing past every obstacle, or you allow yourself to quit when things get tough. The people who achieve greatness are not always the most talented or the most gifted. They are the ones who refuse to stop. They are the ones who demand more from themselves every day. If you want to reclaim your power, you must become relentless. Never settle, never back down, and never stop pushing forward.